United States didn't inherit slavery from anybody. We created it. It got created by the Virginia General Assembly and the legislatures of other states. It got created by the court systems in colonial America and since that enforced fugitive slave laws. We created it. And we created it and maintained it over centuries.
The corporacratic, neoliberal, self-serving Democrats' New World Order, United Nations, and Hollywood's white guilt celebrity cult-backed Black Lives Matter movement is eating its own tail. The United Nations, which ludicrously allowed Saudi Arabia to head a Human Rights Council panel and elected Saudi Arabia to the Commission on the Status of Women, had to recently remove a tweet where they condemned Attorney General Barr for labeling Antifa as domestic terrorists. But while the attention to chaos falls on the loosely based trust fund babies of pro-globalists known as Antifa, Black Lives Matter is wreaking havoc as their very message of solidarity to protect the black community from violent police brutality hypocritically ignores the biggest threat to their own safety, themselves.
Oh, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't quit touching me. Yeah, don't bitch. Don't bitch. Stop moving. Don't bitch. Hurt. Don't touch me.
It's just a wheel that's revolving, as FBI crime statistics reveal that roughly 90% of violence against black folks are other black folks. Of course, the same can be said for white-on-white violence and Hispanic-on-Hispanic violence, etc., but the neoliberal left is stoking a fire that can only reach dangerous, carefully strategized proportions. As a black man is shot and killed in the no-go police autonomous zone known as CHOP,
new police body cam video shows the moment officers responded to Seattle's so-called CHOP, or the Capitol Hill Organized Protest Zone. Police say 2 people were shot and 1 was killed.
Gunfire breaks out across the spectrum of United Nations Strong Cities networks.
At least 9 people were shot, 1 of them critically injured. Here is Chief Kenton Buckner from the Syracuse Police Department.
Our officers were on scene for a stolen car report. While on scene, they encountered several hundred individuals that began running towards officers, saying that individuals were shooting from the crowd. It is important to note that our officers did not hear shots fired while they were on scene. Obviously, something had occurred prior to their arrival.
While Chicago, the barometer of gang-banging doom, saw the most violent weekend in modern history.
We heard 6 shots, probably 6 to 8 shots going off. And at the time, when the shots rang, we came outside, didn't see anything.
Someone inside a blue Honda opened fire on the man's car and he drove himself to the hospital. Police say he suffered a graze wound to the abdomen but refused treatment. His 3-year-old son was shot in the back and pronounced dead.
Prior to what is now escalating into modified gang-banging turf warfare, of greater concern was the widespread looting of gun stores across the country, and now those guns are lighting up the streets. Many black leaders are condemning the hypocrisy, while the left supports radicals like Professor Frimpong, who are normalizing hatred and fomenting race war.
The online comments and videos of UGA teacher's assistant Irami Ose Frimpong are spreading rapidly. Ose Frimpong, who calls himself the funky academic online, recently commented on Facebook, "Some white people may have to die for black communities to be made whole, and fighting white people is a skill."
Some white people may have to die.
You stick with that?
Yeah, I'm confused on why that's so controversial.
Inflammatory comments allowed to essentially yell fire in a crowded theater where the feature presentation is an old screenplay written by the Weather Underground starring Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the Open Society, the United Nations, and the communist takeover of the United States. John Bound reporting.